I just want to add one thing about stage sound and amplifiers and things like that, is that one thing that that might really help you is that as a guitar player or as an instrumentalist attempting to sound large in a live space, you'll want to be loud through your amplifier. And one way you can counteract sounding bad to everyone else and making the stage just a huge mess of horrible sound is actually work with the sound engineer and get him to put your sound and everyone else's into the monitor system or the foldback system, right? Now, we talked about this before. If you can get your guitar sound, it might not have to be a huge amplifier, but get that guitar sound, you know, not pointing at everybody, and get it put in the monitor mix through the sound system. What happens is your sound, right, is going into out of this speaker in front of you, this speaker in front of the singer, this speaker in front of the other rhythm guitar player, and this speaker behind the drummer, and you get the same effect. You get like a large feeling of sound. Like you'll play your guitar and you go, oh wow, it's all around the room, and now I feel comfortable making sounds out of it because I can lean back on the sound and bring it out of my instrument instead of forcing out sound. I can let it breathe and get big, and that's when you start to discover mastery as an instrumentalist, when you can relax and let the sound take off and kind of swim around in the bigness of it instead of kind of forcing a sound out and not getting the sound to come out of your instrument. I mean, that's when you start getting into the next level of ability and talent, things like that. But what happens is if you're coming through the monitor system, you get to kill two birds with one stone. You get a big sound, you really sound good to yourself, you'll sound good to everyone else on stage, and you won't have this horrible penetrating sound from one area that you're trying to cover the whole room with. So the front of house is going to sound good, your stage will sound better, and everyone will be just that little happier because your band is going to harmonize really well. And, you know, just look at some of these huge touring bands. One thing that anybody who's really successful or even marginally successful is gonna know how to control their sound on stage and how to get a sweet sound on stage between each other so that they can harmonize between each other. And when the band starts doing that, woohoo, everyone starts to sing, you know. But if you've got a bad sound on stage and you're all fighting against each other for volume rights and fighting against each other for frequency areas and things like this, you're just never going to get to that level of communication, you know. So think about running your sound through a monitor system, okay? If you're playing an acoustic guitar, what you'll have is what they call a direct injection box. This is what a sound guy calls a direct injection box. You plug it in there, and then you can run it back through the monitor system and out the front of house. And sound guys are going to love you because it's the sweetest acoustic sound, right? If you're an electrified guitar player, what he'll do is he'll put a microphone in front of your amp, and hopefully you can get a good sound without being too loud, and then run it through the monitor system, and all of a sudden everyone's aware of the whole palette of color and sound and harmonics that the whole band is producing, right? So all of a sudden you'll play so much better together. It's amazing when you actually first hit a successful stage sound for the first time. You just go, oh my god, this is so much better than our crappy rehearsal room where we're all pointing our amps at each other and trying to blow each other's heads off. You just all of a sudden you go, oh wow, this is actually music. And that way, when you've got a good stage sound, you can start to vibe off the audience and get them to start entering into the rhythms and the melodies that you're experiencing. And once you can get the audience to participate in what's happening on stage, that's when it starts to explode and you start to have a lot of fun. And it's amazing how simple it can be, you know, just running it through the monitors instead of pointing your quad box at someone's head, you know. It's amazing. It's, you know, it's how you get the girls to like you. And we all know that's why everyone's doing it. Okay.